What if the greatest upset of the young WNBA season wasn't decided by jump shots, hustle, or heart, but by the silent shrill of a whistle that never blew? On May 24th, with 2.9 seconds left, a roaring crowd on its feet, and Caitlin Clark clutching the ball like destiny itself, the Indiana Fever watched their chance at glory vanish in a thud of bodies and the deafening quiet of a referee's swallowed whistle. Head coach Stephanie White didn't just lose her composure afterward, she detonated it, calling the officiating egregious and the treatment of her team unbelievable disrespect. But here's the twist, this wasn't a one-off mistake. According to White, the Fever had absorbed 31 fewer free throw attempts than their opponents across 4 games, a statistical canyon for a squad that pounds the paint every night. In other words, this story is bigger than a missed call. It's a question of whether the WNBA's invisible gatekeepers just tipped the scales of competition. And tonight, we're unpacking every receipt, because Stephanie White's microphone drop was only the match. The powder keg had been building for weeks. The outburst that shook the league moments after the heartbreaking 90-88 finish, White marched into the press room, eyes blazing. She didn't hedge, didn't soften, didn't coach speak her way around it. "I thought Caitlin got fouled," she began, before unloading the stat that made every reporter sit up straight, minus 31 at the line over their last few outings. Then she jabbed deeper, challenging the league's grievance system. "I don't know that I ever feel like the system works." Coaches rarely torch officials so publicly. The fines can be brutal, but White's rage felt less like venting and more like a siren. She framed the discrepancy not as bad luck, but as an institutional blind spot that disrespected a team built on rim attacks, not chuck and duck three-pointers. Fans clipped her quotes, posted them on social media with the hashtag #RiggedWNBA, and within hours, the soundbite eclipsed the game's highlight reel. Yet the numbers alone don't clinch the case. What happened on the floor that night turned suspicion into fury. Pattern or paranoia, the numbers don't lie. Dig into the box scores and the math is brutal. Through 4 games, Indiana averaged just 15 free throw attempts while surrendering 31 more trips to their foes, despite ranking top 3 in drives per game. Analysts noted that Clark in particular draws nearly 8 points a night off dribble penetration, yet she'd shot fewer freebies than perimeter-based sharpshooters on other rosters. On social media, clips from previous matchups surfaced. Clark hacked on a fast break in Atlanta. Aaliyah Boston shoved mid-layup in Washington. No whistles. The Fever weren't just unlucky against the Liberty, they were building a video library of missed calls. Which brings us to the stage of the crime, an afternoon thriller in Indianapolis. Championship-level basketball. Until the whistle, the New York Liberty arrived as defending champs and early season juggernaut. Indiana, they were supposed to be a feel-good story, not a heavyweight. Yet for 3 quarters, the Fever punched above their weight, torching New York 27-10 in the third. Boston bulldozed inside for 27 points and 13 boards, while first-time starter Lexi Hull reigned 15 crucial markers. By the midpoint of the fourth, Indiana led 80-68 and Gainbridge Fieldhouse vibrated like a playoff arena. Every fan could taste the upset. And then, like a curtain dropping, the calls shifted. Liberty veterans Jonquel Jones and Sabrina Ionescu lived at the stripe, trimming the margin possession by possession. A once roaring crowd grew restless, sensing an invisible hand at work, but it was the final 90 seconds that turned frustration into open revolt. The 3 calls that changed everything. Call number 1, Dewana Bonner slashes baseline, absorbs a forearm, misses the layup, official shrugs. Call number 2, seconds later, Hull slides perfectly with Ionescu on the perimeter. Minimal contact, whistle screeches, free throws granted. Call number 3, the dagger. Clark catches near half court, Natasha Cloud scuffles across her arms once, twice, thrice, while the clock bleeds. Clark stumbles, Cloud strips the ball, game over. Silence from the Zebras. Replays flooded timelines within minutes, slowed frame by frame to spotlight every hack. Fans spotted 4 separate points of contact on Clark's final drive. Commentators muttered that in any ordinary quarter, her trip to the line would have been automatic. That's when Stephanie White's press conference flame became a 5-alarm fire. A coach versus the system. White's grievances went beyond a single night. She hammered the inconsistency. All we're asking for is the same whistle on both ends. Then she laid bare the futility of the W's complaint protocol. Teams submit tape, the league reviews in secret, maybe an apology memo arrives. Finds hushed dissent, but change feels glacial. Her candor resonated because it peeled back a curtain. Most coaches bite their tongues for fear of retribution. White risked it, aligning herself with a swelling chorus of players who sense an unspoken pecking order. Rookies over-scrutinized, established stars favored. Whether conspiracy or subconscious bias, the perception matters. Fans don't tune in to watch referees decide outcomes. Yet while controversy raged, something fascinating was happening inside the Fever locker room. Forged by fire, how the Fever are evolving. It wasn't just Clark. Boston's 27-13 masterclass screamed all WNBA potential. Hull's confident stroke proved the bench has teeth. Even in defeat, Indiana out-rebounded the champs and outscored them in the paint. Clark herself, double-teamed all afternoon, still posted an 18-point, 10-assist gem. Her willingness to facilitate, to absorb hits and keep moving, electrified teammates and silenced doubters who claimed she'd crumble under pro physicality. And while the whistle withheld points, the injustice galvanized a locker room that suddenly felt united against a common enemy. Clark's post-game words showed she understood the bigger picture. The Stars' mindset. 2 possessions from 4-0 microphones caught Clark's measured reaction. We're 2 possessions from being 4-0. She admitted the defense had lapses, acknowledged her own missed layups, and called for 4 full quarters of killer instinct. That perspective did 2 things. First, it reframed the loss as opportunity. Lessons now, trophies later. Second, it signaled that Clark's leadership isn't born from slogans, but from accountability. Fans saw that and doubled down on their belief if the league won't give her respect, she'll seize it. Which sets the stage for an intriguing question. Can controversy create a championship DNA? History loves an us against the world storyline. The 95 Rockets, the 11 Mavs, the 23 Aces, champions who forged chemistry in the furnace of disrespect. Early adversity demands problem solving, toughness, and trust. By confronting officiating headaches in May, the Fever are forced to bond, tighten rotations, and master late game composure before summer's dog days. Meanwhile, the fan base is swelling. Each perceived slight is rocket fuel for engagement. Debate shows, viral breakdowns, packed home crowds itching to roar at every whistle. Even casual viewers now tune in not merely for Clark's deep threes, but to see whether the refs dare deny her again. That drama, paradoxically, could be the very engine that drives ratings and drives Indiana to refine its crunch time execution. All of which brings us back to that single silent whistle. The fight for respect, a basketball game, is supposed to be settled by skill, strategy, and nerve. Yet on May 24th, the most influential play was the one officials refused to acknowledge. The questions linger. Was it unconscious bias, big market favoritism, plain old human error? Whatever the answer, Stephanie White planted a flag, and the Fever have drawn their battle lines. They don't just want wins, they want validation. A fair shot, and even whistle. Proof that the league values integrity as much as star power. Clark wants it, Boston wants it, every fan wearing navy and red wants it. And if the stripes won't give it freely, Indiana's plan is simple. Storm the paint, finish through contact, and make the injustice too obvious to ignore. So buckle up. The season is young, the fire is lit, and the next time the whistle stays quiet, remember this night. Because the moment the Fever turn pain into a playoff run, we'll all look back at May 24th as the spark that made a contender. Call to action. Think the refs robbed Indiana? Sound off below. Believe it was just tough luck? Defend your stance. Smash that like button, subscribe, and tap the bell so you don't miss the sequel to this brewing storm. Because something tells me the next chapter will be even louder.